You're listening to the Unemployed Bartender podcast with your host, Keith Carter.
They've already clicked off of your show.
I haven't listened to many podcasts.
This is riveting for your listeners. You do realize this, right?
Yeah, I don't know. What else do you want to talk about?
Do you put like little outtakes in the intro of your podcast?
All of this can be cut out. I'll pretty much just a podcast. New episodes every Friday. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at the UB Podcast. All right, welcome back to the Unemployed Bartender podcast. I'm going to do things a little bit differently this week. Last week was such a good long episode and a two-parter. I kind of would take some time to kind of highlight the guest bartenders that I've had on the show over the last 7 episodes. That's something I'm going to do every 7 episodes, a focus highlight on the bartenders and their recipes so they can share with you guys. And if you do end up making any of these streaks, I would love it if you post a picture on social media, on any of the social medias, and tag us and the bartender who provided it for you with the hashtag #TheUnemployedBartender. And we'll share it on our page, give you a shout out on the show, the next episode. And also we're on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook at the UB Podcast. You can also find me on Instagram at Keith A. Carter and on Twitter at KeithCarter1981. And also make sure you subscribe to the Unemployed Bartender podcast with Keith Carter. Rate, review, do anything else that you would normally do for a podcast. And don't forget to tip your bartenders. All right, so our first episode ever was with 2 incredibly talented mixologists. They were co-guests and co-guest bartenders, Pam Wiznitzer and Ezra Star. Let's take a listen. This part of the segment, or this part of the show, this segment is called...
I put my thing down, flip it, and reverse it.
It's called Happy Hour because it's the happiest of hours. We're going to make a drink using the recipe provided to us by our guest bartenders today.
Yay. Well, Ezra and I both love daiquiris, like many bartenders do. So we wanted to do something that's...
Many, like tiny bartenders, or?
Many.
Yeah, mini.
The mini
Little
bartenders.
ones.
Mini bartenders.
Mini. So
These
we
are
wanted...
actually some very mini limes right now.
Yeah, these are small limes. They fit in my hand. We wanted to make a daiquiri with some good products, but with some little twists that are very fun. So it involves fresh lime juice.
Yep.
Excellent.
Yeah. How much we put it? You're officially the bartender for this.
Oh, I'm the bartender for... Oh, shit. Yeah, like 3/4 of an ounce.
0.75 ounces.
Okay.
And then sweetener, of course. What?
Is there a name for this daiquiri? Is there an official name? Should we name it right now?
Let's name it.
We'll tell you what's in it, and then maybe collectively we can come
A
up
Breath
with a
of
great
Adam?
name. A damn if you do, a damn if you don't.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was a lot. Or else we're just going to call it Slide. So,
I like it.
but yeah, so another really great product. For a lot. It's not in, I don't think it's in every market yet, but it's called Chinola. Chinola. It's a passion fruit liqueur. And I know that there's a few other passion fruit liqueurs that have been on the market, like Giffard has one. But the difference is that you can see it, Keith, but it has such texture. It has viscosity. It is a thicker liqueur. Like this is not like your thin passion fruit, like see-through liqueur. This is opaque. Great. And you're supposed to like keep it chilled if you can. It's got real passion fruit in it. And it makes your drinks much more viscous. Yeah. Which I love, and not because it's sugary necessarily. It just brings out a lot of you get good texture. And
for you guys at home, you don't have to remember everything she's saying. I am going to include the recipe on our Instagram, so you can follow along there and make it for yourself at the house.
Yeah. I love the product. Some great guys who are behind this product, men of color, I'll say as well. And we're in the industry for a very long time, and we love supporting them. So 0.75 ounces of that in there as well. And which is great. It adds our fruit component, adds our sugar.
Yep.
So before we add the main spirit, we're going to add 2 other ingredients.
Coconut oil.
Okay.
And
Coconut oil in a cocktail.
Mm-hmm. That's the future.
yeah, oil is really cool. Oil adds a ton of really fun texture to a drink, and you really feel it in the mouth, the mouthfeel. And it's fun. You can always freeze oil like in a drink of liquor beforehand to fat wash it, but I actually like just doing a few droplets and shaking with it because the texture coats throughout the entire drink.
Really helps with the breath of Adam.
And coconut oil is fun because it does
That's
have
that mouthfeel that that you're going for there.
Yeah. And as opposed to like essential oils or things which aren't necessarily always safe, like coconut oil is like the cooking oil, and you can use that in a drink. So, I like to add about like 5 little droplets using a pipette into the cocktail when we're going to shake it, before we shake it, and shake with it. It just adds a little flavor. It adds a really cool texture to the drink.
Excellent.
Adding a teeny pinch of salt. Salt balances everything out.
Yep.
And then finally,
the Mount Gay Black Barrel.
This is great. This is the new Black Barrel bottle. So Mount Gay Black Barrel is from Barbados. It's a really iconic brand that's been around obviously for a long time. But they have a new master blender and distiller. Her name's Trudy Ann Brinker. And if you ever want to meet a distiller and go drinking with someone, you want to go with Trudy Ann. She's so insanely smart. It paralyzes me just listening to her talk. And she's also really fun dinner date.
Well, I'm going to let you make that introduction for me so I can experience that. For Same
sure.
thing you've done.
Yeah, she's super cool. And so the new bottles actually have her signature at the bottom down here, and you can see it. So if you look for the new bottles, you can find it. And I think this blend is I think it's way better than what
superior
they've had in the past.
to any other product they've ever put out.
Not any other product necessarily, but with the way Black Barrel used to be blended, I actually prefer this. It's a bit drier, and it's got a lot more flavor, which I think is great.
Excellent.
So yeah, so 2 ounces of this, but if you're feeling feisty, 2.5.
Always feeling feisty, so 2.5.
Yeah. And then add ice.
Ice. Shake that shit.
Shake it.
Shake it. So so for listeners at home that probably don't own a bar quality shaker, what's some tips for them to make some cocktails at home? I had to do this with my sister where I used a Tupperware container.
That's a great move.
Do you guys have any tips for making cocktails at home without any of the equipment that you would normally see a bartender making?
Yeah, some of the best drinks I've ever made have been a cup and chopsticks to stir.
Yeah.
And just use the chopsticks to hold the ice back while you're pouring.
Yeah.
Tupperware container is the best for shaking for sure.
I'm a big proponent of the mason jar. Many reasons. If you are doing a drink that is going to be served on ice, then you put minimal ice when you cap it and you shake it, and add a bit more fresh ice. And you just drink out of the vessel.
Yeah.
Let's clean up. Also, I'm just a big proponent of the water bottle shake. And it's great because you can take the drink on the go, add some ice, shake it up, and then divvy it out into the glasses. And, as long as the cap screws on, you've got a vessel to make a drink.
There you go. Multiple options for your to-go imbibing this summer.
Yeah. This drink is great. And you can serve it up or on the rocks. It depends.
Or blend it.
We like blending too.
Yeah. All of those things.
Yeah.
And what would we call this drink? What's the official name?
Adam's Breath.
Adam's Breath. I mean, I think the consensus is here that this has to be named after Adam and his breath. So Adam's Breath, the cocktail of the day. Thank you, Ezra, for walking us through that, and Pam for the assistance. All right. If you want to tip your bartender, you can find Ezra on Venmo at Ezra-Star, and you can follow her on Instagram at SoftestBullet, and Pam is at Pam Wiz. Next up, we have the cocktail from episode 2, the guest Jeremy Smith of Roots of a Rebellion, and one of my good friends, bartender and comedian Herbie Gill, who walks us through his version of a Boulevardier. Listen to the full episode to also hear some of his quarantine cocktail tips. Do you want to tell us what drink you're going to make for us?
Yeah, this one was born out of an accident. It's very, very simple. I'm a bourbon guy, and I was trying to make a Boulevardier for somebody, and I don't really like Boulevardiers because I don't like bitter, and Campari tends to be a bit bitter. It's a bitter liqueur. So what I did instead is I added some Ancho Reyes chili liqueur to it. So it has a little bit more of a round taste, and it has a little bit of heat to it. So in order to make this drink, it's pretty much the same ingredients, and we're doing a little bit of tweaking. So
All right.
we'll go 1 ounce of bourbon, the bourbon of your choice, 1 ounce of sweet vermouth. I like to use the Antico vermouth again because it's a little bit more viscous and has that weight to it, and I like the sweetness of it. And then in place of the Campari, we're going to my favorite chili liqueur to use is the Ancho Reyes chili liqueur. I like that because the heat in it is deep enough, but it's got all these other flavorings to it that really balance out the drink really well. And the reason I like these ingredients working together is because each thing does heavy lifting for the other. If the strength of bourbon's a little bit much for you, the sweet vermouth takes care of that. If the sweet's a little bit too much for you, the chili liqueur dilutes the sweet. And if the heat's a little bit too much, both things sort of dampen down the heat. So it's all these things working together to make this drink, which I call the Scoundrel Sipper. And the only reason I call it that is because I was the last time I was making it in the Highway, I was trying to name it after the owner, and he always liked things with scoundrel or something in them. So I'm like, oh, Scoundrel Sipper is good. And plus, I wanted something that you could put in a coupe or a martini glass and raise to somebody else. So yeah, you have those three things, and the added element that I have at the end is something to sort of bring out the flavor and sort of finish the drink off. I like to use some chocolate bitters.
Okay.
So if you find those Azteca chocolate bitters, those are good ones to use. Say a couple of dashes of chocolate bitters. And then I like a nice flamed orange.
Okay.
Just because I like the toasted orange oils on top of it. It sort of gives a nice finish to it. Goes well with the heat. And I just like flaming oranges in a bar. I think it's a fun thing to do, and it makes the bar smell nice.
Every single time I've been to your bar, you have flamed at least one.
Yeah,
orange.
I do like to set things on fire.
Within 30 seconds of me walking in.
Yeah.
So that doesn't surprise me. Just for some clarification, I know Ancho Reyes has, for the folks at home listening, it might be a little difficult. They have a red and a green bottle if they're looking at the store. Just for clarification, is it the red or the green?
I believe it's the red one. It is a red chili liqueur. And
the green one is called Verde.
Yeah.
But if you're looking at the store and you're not quite listening and you're just like, oh, I want to make that drink.
Yeah.
It'll
have a white label, reddish bottle. And the other one will say Verde on it. But yeah, just equal parts bourbon, chili liqueur, and sweet vermouth, dash of chocolate bitters, and a flame orange.
And I guess also to note, this drink is designed to be 1 ounce, 1 ounce. It's a 1-1-1, so it's 3 ounces total of liquor drink.
Yeah,
mixture.
And imagine you'll get a little bit of dilution once you stir it over ice.
You got to walk us through the rest of the creation. But you can use any amount, like I said earlier.
Yeah.
If you have a third cup, it's just the equal amounts of each drink.
Yes.
Should create if you want. So
3 750 milliliter bottles, put it into a punch bowl, and enjoy your Netflix marathon.
Yeah, you want to get one large Gatorade football practice jug. Empty the 3 bottles in.
Play some video games, and when you win your 2K game, you could just dump it over yourself.
There you go.
That's the real drink of the day.
All right, you can find Herbie on all the social medias at Herbie Gill, and tip your bartender on Venmo at Herbie Gill. On episode 3, I was joined by two of my good buddies, Ty Richardson from ESPN Arkansas and guest bartender and musician Ty Miller. Ty walks us through his Unemployed Margarita, a super skinny margarita that nearly anyone can make. Here he is.
So let's do this cocktail.
All right, cool.
I'm excited about it. This is one of my favorite cocktails that we've done on the show. Super easy to make for you guys at home.
Yeah.
But not something to sleep on.
No.
Unless you finish drinking it, and then it's something you will sleep on. But tell me all about it. I love the name too.
Well, I mean, I know the last two guests you've had have, given their, they get their own college try with the mixology, fancy drink. Not that they were super uber fancy or anything like that, but I'm not a big fan of that kind of stuff. So I thought that I would just keep it real and, basically this drink is called the Unemployed Margarita. And it's basically like a regular margarita, except it has no triple sec. It has no lime juice. Because let's just face it, in these times, we can't afford such decadent ingredients like, Lord's triple sec and Rose's lime juice, or even a fresh lime for that matter. So this drink is just 4 ounces, 6 ounces, 8 ounces, really whatever you choose, in a pint glass of Siete Leguas Blanco tequila on the rocks. And that's it. And just enjoy the vibes at that point.
That's the Unemployed Margarita. I love the name.
AKA the very, very skinny margarita.
The very
yeah.
skinny margarita. No, that's good. So just to walk through one more time. So we take a pint glass.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Take a pint glass, right?
Put some
ice in it.
Kind of
any
ice
size ice of your choosing, big cubes, small.
Does it need
cubes.
to be like a nice? Does it need to be like a nice, like chiseled out piece of large format ice?
It could be any kind of ice you want. It could be that. It could be like bodega ice from a plastic cup. That's literally like one giant cube of ice, comprised of 100 little ice cubes. And fill your pint glass with that, and then just pour a nice hefty amount of tequila on top, and good to go.
Yeah. Is there a point of the pour? Like, when do we need to stop pouring to know that we got the ratios correct?
I'd say about 2/3 of the way up the glass. So maybe with the ice in it, with the ice in there, that 6 or 8 ounce pour will look like 12 ounces.
Yeah, it's important to let the ice kind of do its thing.
Yeah, definitely. The tequila needs to marinate in the ice, and vice versa.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's just it's a bonus treat for when there's no more tequila in the glass. You have the ice.
You have tequila flavored ice to kind of finish it all out.
Is there any other kind?
No, I don't think there is. Have you ever made tequila ice?
No, I haven't tried tequila. I mean,
you need a super deep freeze.
Yeah. Liquor doesn't really freeze that well, or at all for that matter.
It freezes. It just freezes at a temperature far below what our standard freezers are going to.
Yeah, might take you like a week to freeze some tequila in an ice tray.
Yeah, it'd still be good.
Yeah,
I think I'm going to have an Unemployed Margarita myself.
Nice.
Listen,
I am so unemployed. I don't even have any tequila at home, so I can't even make one.
Luckily, we were able to get Ty some tequila to his home, and he's had a couple since then. So if you enjoyed this recipe, make sure you tip your bartender on Venmo at Ty-Mills and follow him on Instagram at Mental CEEZ. All right, up next on episode 4, we had Doobie Duke Sims of Shinobi Ninja, the band with the best sticker game I've ever seen, and guest bartender J.R. Goleno from the Crying Wolf in Nashville. Here he makes his version of the Negroni using spirits exclusively made in the great state of California. Tell me about this cocktail you're going to make for us today.
Awesome. Well, this one, it's one I've been kind of playing with more during quarantine because I have a small collection of booze in my house, but I actually just moved about a month and a half ago. So I've been trying to kind of same kind of thing. I've been unpacking boxes as I go. So I got my room set up, got the living room set up, and haven't really been able to unpack a whole lot of bar and kitchen stuff yet. So I haven't been able to make my own simple syrup. I don't have the like lime juice that I normally like, any sort of like fresh juices and stuff. So it's been a lot of me just, hey, does this booze go with this booze?
Yeah, doing some 1-1-1s and
yeah. So let's
equally mixing things.
Yeah, I've actually got a one of my art pieces I've been working on is actually a play on a Black Flag logo that's got 4 jiggers on it, and it just says equal parts on it. And so my equal parts cocktails have been my favorite things to do right now. So I've been this one. It's not quite equal parts, but it's a play on a Negroni, which is. But I've been messing around with some of my California roots, and there's a company called St. George that just do really amazing products.
Very familiar. Love their stuff.
Yeah, their gin
pear liqueur is great.
Oh, the spice pear liqueur is one of my favorites. That with some rye whiskey, and I usually like throw a rosemary sprig in there. It is tight. I've been their gin's always been one of my favorites. The Terroir gin is so good. And one of my favorite liqueurs, like I tend to love. I'm a fan of Fournette and Chartreuse and Besque and all these kind of stuff.
The bartender's handshake drinks.
Yeah, I'm like, nobody else likes these like herbal, bitter garbage stuff, and once you become a bartender, somehow it just feels like your soul. So
it just clicks in your head.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I do like this now.
So I've been their Bruto Americano is their liqueur, and it's just unreal. And so I've been playing around with
doing that in place of a sweet vermouth.
The Bruto I've been doing in place of the Campari, since it's got more of that like bitter side to it.
Yeah.
So I've been throwing gin and Bruto, and then for some reason I didn't have any sweet vermouth on me, because how often do I actually use that? And it's gone very bad, the one bottle that I had forever. So there's this company out of Ventura where I actually moved from called Chirot, and it's a spearmint, aloe, cucumber, muskmelon, Eau de vie liqueur, and it's like minty, delicious summer in a glass, basically. And I'd been playing with it with Bruto already, the kind of sweet and bitter on that one. And so I'm like, well, what if I throw some of that into this? And so it's like 1.5 ounces of the Terroir gin, 1 ounce of the Bruto, and then 1/2 ounce of the Chirot, because Chirot will overtake anything if you put more than 1/2 ounce in it. And so throw that together with just a easy orange peel if I've got it. Otherwise, screw that. I don't really care that much.
Do you have any home prep tips for people that want to make this cocktail for themselves?
Ice is a big deal. One of the things I did mess with it a little bit when I was still in the bar, and having wet ice in like a well at the bar makes the cocktail much worse than having some good, really cold ice that you're stirring it down with. So keep
the right dilution. You need to have the right ice.
Yeah. Have the right ice for the right job. And so having good just freezer ice is much better for it. It doesn't dilute it quite as much while still chilling it down. Big cube is always your friend when actually doing the presentation with it too.
Yeah, large surface area is great.
Oh yeah.
So this is a stirred cocktail.
Yeah.
For people at home that don't have a stir glass to stir down, what's the obviously like a large cup or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, if you
use.
If I don't have a standard mixing glass with me, usually a pint glass will do the trick in a pinch. I've thrown it in a pint glass even if I didn't have a spoon on me. Just kind of swirl it around for 45 seconds or so in a glass, and
that's my favorite technique when I don't have anything to stir with. Give the old swish around.
Yeah, just swish it around for a while and see what happens. being a bartender when you're making your own drinks.
That's how I make every single drink of my own. Like, it's whatever.
Yeah, like I care for other people. For me, nah.
As the quickest I can get it to be palatable, that's the goal.
Yeah, as soon as it's cold enough and doesn't taste like just all of the booze, then it's good enough for me.
So what is this this play on a Negroni called?
I'm actually I mean, hell, I'm looking for names on this. It was just kind of my California Dreamin' was the working title.
Chase the Sun.
Chase the Sun. I like that. I think that may be a good option for it. Chase the Sun.
You could maybe float a little red, orange, something on it.
Ooh, yeah.
I don't know what the color of the rest of the drink is.
It kind of turns its because Bruto has more of kind of a purple than your standard like Campari orange, so it already has kind of a nice light violet color to it, which is really cool for having the orange peel in there. It gives it a nice contrast.
Perfect.
Hell yeah.
All right, JR also talked about a couple cocktails on episode 4, so give it a listen to hear additional recipes. Find him everywhere on social media and on Venmo at OneLog, his last name spelled backwards, Goleno. Up next is a cocktail from episode 5 with Jamie White, owner of Nashville's Pearl Diver, and coming soon, Lucky's 3-Star. This cocktail was provided by me. It's one of my favorites that I created not long after I moved to New York, and here's a recipe for my spin on a Manhattan, the Fournette about it. I'm just going to share one of my oldies but goodies with you guys that I think you'll enjoy. It's one of the first cocktails that I did when I got here in New York. I wanted something that was delicious and also had a New Yorkie kind of name to it. So I came up with the Fournette about it, which is a Fournette, obviously, based drink that's quite delicious. It's kind of a take on a Manhattan, pretty much. It's 2 ounces of High West Rendezvous rye, a 1/4 ounce of Fournette Branca, a 1/4 ounce of ginger syrup. To make that ginger syrup, you can do a cup of water, a cup of sugar, about 2 tablespoons of minced ginger root. Kind of bring that to a low boil for 10-15 minutes. You'll have a nice delicious ginger syrup. Just build this in a mixing glass over ice, stir down, pour and serve in a coupe or whatever you'd like, but it's a delicious drink, nice and spicy with some sweet notes to it. If you enjoy complex spicy drinks, then I think you'll really enjoy this one. All right, in episode 6, our guest was Cloudy of New York City's favorite subway band, Pink Louds, and Nohelani, who's currently head bartender at Safe House Distillery in Albuquerque, New Mexico. She used Safe House's Teller vodka to make what's basically a blueberry lavender pina colada. Here it is. So why don't you tell me a little bit about what you have prepared for us today? I'm excited to hear about this cocktail.
Awesome. So unfortunately, I don't have ingredients with me, but it's been the most demanded cocktail since I started working at my job. We released it probably a month ago online. It was originally a cocktail for people who were still in lockdown. Like, you can do this at home. It's delicious kind of thing. It was kind of like an accident.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much just a blueberry lavender pina colada. Sounds super weird and interesting. People are kind of like, that's absurd. It's dope. So pretty much it's just 2 ounces of our blueberry lavender vodka, Teller vodka, 1.5 ounces of pineapple juice, 1 ounce of Coco Lopez, and then 1/2 ounce of lime juice. Super simple, super easy.
Yeah.
The reason why this cocktail just kind of took off is honestly our blueberry lavender vodka from our house, which is amazing stuff. It's just been taking off. So far it's been a really popular summer sipper.
Yeah, that sounds like a really refreshing and lovely drink. How would my non-New Mexican listeners be able to get a hold of this Teller vodka? Is this something do y'all have it available online? Is there a place they can go, a website?
Actually, I'm not too sure. I don't think we don't have any online orders yet.
Okay.
I definitely know that they're working on something like that, but right now I think they're sticking just to local.
Yeah.
I think if anyone really wants it, they can message me and I can figure something out where I can start sending some to some local not local, but other bartenders who are adamant about wanting to try it. I don't mind it at all.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what's the website for Safe House? Maybe that they can go and check it out there as well, just and kind of see what it is all about.
Honestly, I don't even know. Let's take a look. Let's go Safe House Distillery. Oh yeah, so the website is safehousedistillingco.com.
Okay, safehousedistillingco.com.
You know, this is the first time I'm actually looking on this. Yeah.
Oh. All right, we'll make sure to put that on the cocktail then so people can find it. Yeah, so that sounds like a wonderful cocktail. I hope everyone that's listening does get a chance to try it. Like I said, you can make sure you message Nohelani, and she can kind of help point you in the right direction to get your hands on this Teller Blueberry Lavender Vodka. That sounds amazing. If you're interested in getting your hands on some of this great blueberry lavender vodka from the Safe House Distillery in Albuquerque, reach out to them, or you can reach out to Nohelani on Instagram at Nohelani_X3, and tip your bartender on Venmo at the same handle. Finally, we have the cocktail from episode 7, our two-parter with candy historian and pundit Jason Liebig, and guest bartender, actor, and much more, Joanna Carpenter. She gave us a fruity vermouth cocktail that might sound a little complex, but it's really easy to make at home. Let's discuss this cocktail that you're going to make for us today.
Do you need me to make it? Because it would involve migrating my entire
I do
setup.
not need you to make it.
Or I can tell you what I put in it.
Just walk us through step by step. If someone was to make it at home, what steps they would need to take.
Yeah, so I love kitchen confidential cocktails. It's like my favorite thing ever. That's also the basis of a lot of the classes I've been teaching, which is like, take me on a FaceTime tour around your kitchen and we're going to make stuff based on what you have, and it's going to be a great time. So I'm not a big juice drinker, but I had to get some guava nectar the other day for a class. So I had some of that, and I had squeezed some fresh lemon juice just to like make some like ginger lemon action, just to like take a shot of it. So I had fresh lemon juice, and I had some coconut sugar syrup that I had made for my iced coffee. So I did all of that, and then I did like equal parts lemon and coconut sugar syrup, and the guava is like super vibrant, this brand that I got. So I did an ounce of that, and then I did 2 ounces of Martini Umbrato dry vermouth. And shook it and poured it over a big rock, and it was super.
So we got a low ABV cocktail here, then.
Yes, low ABV. I love vermouth so fucking much, and like the Martini Umbrato and the Rubino, like this should not be a plug for them, but like they're just exquisite bottles. And I love using them in cocktails. If I don't have like Dolan or vermouth Routon, yeah, the Umbrato is
any brand you want to mention is fine, because I can tag them and then just cut the clip out and just say, hey, look, we talked about you. Give us free shit.
Yeah, I mean, I you know what is my favorite though, and I need to pick up a bottle because my local store doesn't have it, is Lo-Fi dry vermouth.
I have not tried it.
Actually, the entire Lo-Fi line. Like, I used to have a bottle of each Lo-Fi vermouth in my fridge, and I went through all of them over the course of a long time. But like vermouth cocktails, I'm all in. I am totally in like Flynn.
I am right there with you. So what would we call this cocktail? What would you say?
Oh shit. End of a long day.
Hey, that works.
I've been on 12 and 14-hour days for the last however many months. So it's
what if we called it
light at the end of the tunnel?
The barrier. Let's just bring attention to the cause that we would like to bring attention to. We'll name the cocktail that.
I'm here for all the attention on 86 The Barrier, truly.
So you said equal parts lemon juice and guava syrup. Was that correct?
Lemon juice and coconut sugar syrup.
So what was the recommended? You said equal parts, but I didn't quite catch it, so they might have not quite caught it.
Yeah, so 3/4, 3/4. and then ounce of guava and 2 ounces of martini umbrato.
Perfect. And then
Shake and strain.
All right.
All right. Joanna's asked that any tips that would be provided for her be sent over to 86 The Barriers Mutual Aid Fund. They are on Venmo at Mutual Aid 86TB. Well, that wraps it up for the cocktails from our first 7 episodes. These are some incredibly talented bartenders and mixologists, and I hope you guys have enjoyed the recipes, and you can make them at home. We have a lot of really fun, really exciting things in the works. We've got some really interesting guests lined up, and soon we'll be launching a Patreon page where you can subscribe and get bonus content, additional cocktails, Unemployed Bartender merchandise, a lot more stuff coming from that. So keep up with us on social media to hear more about that as we have information. Anyway, make sure to tip your bartenders, both virtually and if you get out to a bar sometime soon. And let us know if you made any of these cocktails at home by tagging us and the bartender who provided it. We're everywhere at the UB Podcast, and I'm on Instagram at Keith A. Carter and on Twitter at KeithCarter1981. If you want to reach out to us about anything, just get us at contact@theubpodcast.com. And we'll be back with another full episode next Friday with really exciting guests. So thanks for listening, and I'll see y'all at the bar.